Welcome back to my channel today here at KL Tech Videos. Today I'm looking at the Razer Kishi Ultra. And the reason why I'm looking at this, even though this has been out a little while, is simply because on TikTok you've probably seen consoles like this, and they've got like 12,000, 5,000, 15,000 games. But the gripe I have with all these TikTok resurgence of retro game consoles is that they're limited in that you can only play those retro games, and they might have a lot of them, but you can damn well put a lot more of them on your mobile phone. And that's what this device can do. So you can use this gaming controller. You can hook this up to a phone or a tablet up to 8 inches. I've been using my S23 Ultra. And obviously, through various different means, most of them completely legal, and I'd only encourage you to do that. You can download, an unlimited amount of ROMs, emulators, things like that. I've been playing a lot of the old Nintendo 64 games on here. A lot of cool things like that. All through my phone using this as the controller. Now, you might be in the market currently for a controller. And you might be thinking, well, there's a lot of selection out there. Do you know what I mean? I was one of the early adopters to the Steam controller, which was a really good controller. One of my favorite parts of this controller was that the ability to play games with it that didn't have native controller support. So you could map your keyboard and mouse commands to this. They had 2 touch buttons on here, analog sticks. And that was a really good controller. Paddles, triggers, the works, which were really cool. I was an early adopter of the Google Stadia controller and service, which is kind of like a cloud service, like GeForce Now is currently, and Xbox Game Pass. And that, as a lot of Google projects tend to go the way of the wind. But again, the controller was really cool, very clean, sleek aesthetics, and the cloud gaming platform was great. You can actually get this to work on your PC and other devices now through Bluetooth, which is great. Traditionally, I've always been an Xbox gamer, using the Xbox controller. I still use this quite a lot on my Windows PC laptop, or my Razer laptop. I do a lot of gaming through this. Loved the Halo days, did a lot of Halo gaming, still do with the Master Chief Collection, so that's been great. And then a lot more mobile focused as of the last year or two. This is the Moga, I think it's the X-Moga controller there with a rechargeable battery. And this is where you could basically put your phone in here and then game with it via Bluetooth. You could also actually hook this up via USB-C and A there as well, which was great. And the other thing is that a lot of resurgence has started to come back. There's been a resurgence in retro gaming now, especially if you're on TikTok. You'll see there's a lot of these game consoles around that are offering like 5, 12, 15,000 games, all those retro game emulators and things like that. And it got me thinking, I'd like to do that, but I don't really want to spend 60 to 150 odd quid on a retro games console that can only play those retro games. Whereas something like this allows you to put your phone or tablet up to 8 inches into, hook it up. You can download those emulators onto your Android or for other phone devices as well, because this is for Android and iPhone. But the cool thing is, I can also therefore use my S23 Ultra to play Xbox Game Pass with this. Whereas on those retro consoles, no chance in hell for any decent experience. And I think there might be 1 or 2 out there that can support that. And I know you've got the Stream Deck and the ROG Ally as well. But if you're a bit, you're kind of on a budget here. I picked this up from Amazon in the Black Friday sales. I got this for £129, which was a really cool deal. And I haven't stopped using it. I've been playing this on my devices for quite some time now, in the last week or two, to get into grips with it. And essentially, this is what it looks like. You've got grips in here that kind of get pushed into the sides there for your iPhone or Android phone. And obviously you can change those as you will. If your phone has a case, maybe you don't want the grips in there. Comes with a USB-C insert there, so you can. There's no battery power in this. It literally powers by the USB-C of your phone or device. And it feels very traditionally like an Xbox controller. Now, In the box, you've got your manual, warranty, how to use your rubber cushions, as they're called. You've got some stickers, obviously. Then you've got the instructions on how to use the device. And then you've also got the instructions on how to put the phone in, and also how to configure this for iPhone or Android or Xbox modes, because there's different modes that you can use on here that apply to different things, which are really, really cool. And it also comes with Razer chroma lighting as well. The other cool thing I like about this is that you can also, if you have traditional headphones, you can actually plug them in through this pass-through jack and pass through charging. So even if your phone is about to die, you can actually still charge it, which passes through the power here, which is great. It's got a very Xboxy feel. I mean, if I grab the Xbox controller here, it kind of looks like an Xbox controller split down the middle. It's got that very same familiar feel, D-pad, controls. But again, this can be used for a few things. Now, it's got a lot of buttons on here. You've got these top buttons, trigger buttons. You've even got these little two buttons at the top here, which are cool. There's no paddle or anything like that underneath. You've got traditional analog sticks. You've got your D-pad. And they're very clicky. It's very tactile. Which, if you're a Razer fan, and you use things like the Razer keyboards and mice and things like that, and you like your clickiness, you're going to be well happy with this. You know it's sturdy. So there is that too. But let's get into the nitty-gritty of how this actually looks while gaming. Now, of course, one of the awesome things about running the Razer Kishi Ultra with your S23 Ultra or other phones or tablets is that you can use the cloud gaming platform by Microsoft and other companies such as Xbox Game Pass, something that you can't do on the vast majority of those retro game consoles on TikTok. So this was one of the other reasons why I decided to pick this up, so I could start playing these games in addition to my retro games and the things that I like to play elsewhere. Obviously, these ones are dependent on your internet connections. You've got to have a solid 5G or 4G internet connection, or even Wi-Fi at home. But you can see they look pretty cool. The other thing that got me looking at buying this console over the others was the specification differences. So if I just pull up one of these random consoles, I'll show you what I mean. Now, here is a comparison between the S23 Ultra, which is my current phone, and two of the best-selling retro game consoles on TikTok. Now, I know you might be saying, Keith, you can't really compare these. Of course, the specs are not going to match up, and I understand where you're coming from. But that's kind of the point I'm trying to make. So you could spend between £80 to £150 on these retro game consoles that don't play things like Xbox Game Pass and has limited specifications, whereas, for example, using your current phone and anything modern in the last couple of years is going to beat the hell out of these retro gaming consoles. So therefore, investing in something like a Razer Kishi Ultra or other mobile phone kind of controller, you're going to get a lot more out of it, bang for your buck. I mean, take a look at this, for example, even on the screen, right? The screen is being the most important part of any gaming console, especially a portable one, because they're going to be smaller. Well, my S23 Ultra has a 6.8-inch OLED, Quad HD, it's got HDR, and it's 120 hertz refresh rate, compared to the measly 3.5-inch and 5.3-inch screens, either less than HD ready, and sometimes not even full HD. But you know what I'm trying to get to. The same with the RAM, the same with the storage, and the battery life too. Plus, it's your phone, so you can still use it as a phone. You can still do all the same things on it that you would without having to invest in another device. And that's all I'm trying to say with the whole thing. Now, this is the Nexus app by Razer themselves. You can download it from the Play Store. Lemroid is also an emulator app that you can use for all your ROMs and all the games that you'll play that you will 100% legally obtain. Make sure you have the copyright for all these, just as I did. But the Nexus app lets you kind of navigate and use the game console to access all the other emulators and all the other gaming apps on your system, at which point then You can launch apps like Lemroid, this emulator, and then launch games like these games inside that emulator, so that you can play all your retro games just like you would. Now, obviously, the difference between this Razer Kishi gaming console controller for mobile phones and tablets is not going to come with pre-installed games and ROMs. You're going to have to go and find them yourself. So that is probably one of the cons versus the pros of getting your own gaming handheld console, instead of getting one of those on TikTok, which already come pre-installed with those, 10, 15,000 games, whatever. However, it does also give you the option of installing only the things that you want to, so that you're not endlessly browsing through the console looking for, through those, 15,000 games for the game you're actually wanting to play. So it kind of depends on what you're looking for yourself. But ultimately, it comes down to personal preference. I hope I've given you kind of a good understanding of the differences and some other choices out there. And just to finish off the video, I am going to pop a link in the description below for everything, but also just to show you that it's not just the Razer Kishi Ultra out there, gaming controller-wise, for your phones and tablets. You can actually, there's a whole range of different controller options out there that you can use. So yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy that. Thank you very much for watching as always, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.